Go ahead.
Testing 1, 2, testing. Can you hear?
Go ahead.
Testing 1, 2, 1, 2, testing. Can you hear?
Go ahead.
1, 2, testing. Test 1, 2.
Okay.
Can you hear?
Here. Go ahead.
1, 2, testing. Test 1, 2.
Go ahead.
Put it back.
Okay.
Can you hear?
Here. Go ahead.
1, 2, testing. Test 1, 2. Put it back.
Okay.
Can you hear?
Here. Go ahead.
1, 2, testing. Test 1, 2. Put it back.
Okay.
Can you hear? 1, 2, testing.
Hello, my name is Marissa Kiefer. I teach fourth grade at Robert Sanders, and I will also be speaking on behalf of MPEA members. Salary is the number one issue. I can't even afford a one-bedroom apartment in the San Jose area. Hello, my name is Marissa Kiefer. I teach fourth grade at Robert Sanders, and I will also be speaking on behalf of MPEA members. Salary is the number one issue. I can't even afford a one-bedroom apartment in the San Jose area. Hello, my name is Marissa Kiefer. I teach fourth grade at Robert Sanders, and I will also be speaking on behalf of MPEA members. Salary is the number one issue. I can't even afford a one-bedroom apartment in the San Jose area. Hello, my name is Marissa. Okay, is it working? Good, okay. Some districts are getting 7 to 10% raises. Also, class size, it should be kept low. Having so many students out due to COVID made it much easier to reach our students and conference with them. So keeping class sizes low is important for student success. It is important that our salary and benefits increase to keep pace with rising effects of inflation. This district is often crazy and chaotic. Teachers are tossed from one position to another without regards to consistency. I am required to do more and more with less time to plan and teach. This district operates on survival mode. Get the kids in and out with little regard to how much they learn. Keep parents happy and just push kids through. Compensation. We are asking for salary increases that reflect the cost of living increases in San Jose and permit teachers to afford housing in our community. Class sizes. Numerous research studies show that smaller class sizes contribute to increased academic gains for students, higher graduation rates, and development of social skills, as well as influencing teacher recruitment and retention. Class size reduction may be the most cost-effective policy to close opportunity and achievement gaps. I also find that it is very important to note that while we are here talking about what teachers want, it is important to know that teachers are here for the students. A lot of times I hear that maybe we're not. Our only purpose is to be here for the students. We wake up in the morning for our students. We come here for our students. We serve our students, and we are asking for your help. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next speaker is Lisa Pereira.
Hello, my name is Lisa Pereira. I'm a teacher at Valley Vista School, and I am also here representing MPA members. I disagree with combo classes, especially with primary students. It's not fair for students coming back from distance learning to be put in combo classes, then to continue to be put in combo classes again this coming fall. The students are not getting the proper support they need if they were in a straight grade. Having had to teach a K-1 2 years in a row, I see the struggles in my students. I see the Hello, unfairness. my name is Lisa Pereira.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay. Should I go ahead?
Do we keep going or you want us to wait? Thank you. Thank you. Sorry.
It's okay.
Thanks.
Having had to teach a K-1 2 years in a row, I see the struggles in my students. I see the unfairness in their learning time. We always say think about the students, but we often punish them with combo classes. We are being asked to pack up and move with no timelines and poor communication. How many days do we have? When will this be discussed? I've been here at this district for almost 20 years, and I've lost my faith in the district's ability to make decisions that are best for the students. Combo classes are not equitable and set up both the students and the teacher for failure. The district needs to stop thinking about the bottom line and do what's best for the students. Combination classes are terrible, not equitable for students. The kids don't receive the instruction they deserve because it's divided curriculum. Teachers end up having to give busy work. If we have money for additional administration, why aren't we putting the kids first? We are a 4-school district. What a mess this consolidation has created. As was predicted, parents have taken their children out of ALAS and moved them to STEAM. Also, many parents are finding ways to leave the district. And now we are faced with dozens of combos, which will not benefit students and will anger parents. Teachers are looking elsewhere for jobs because they can get better pay, smaller class sizes, and no combos. Thank you.
Thank you.
Gabriela Roman.
Good evening. My name is Gabriela Roman, and I'm a first grade teacher in ALAS. And I'll be sharing some of our concerns of some of our members. I am applying to other districts because the cost of living has increased much more than our salaries. Having combo classes is not fair for students and it's not fair for teachers. It is impossible for teachers to complete both curriculums. There is always so much instability and inconsistency in our district that affects teachers and students with following up with reading intervention and other support services, moving teachers, combination classes, etc. It all keeps our schools and programs from growing more. I am applying to other districts because there is no consistency or strength in the programs. Pay increase in this district does not align with the cost of living in the valley. The climate in the district has an absence of honest dialogue, focuses more on self-preservation than collaboration from district office. Combo classes are not an equitable education for the students and challenging for the classroom teachers. I don't want to send my child to this district anymore due to all the changes and upcoming combination classes. I've worked for the district for many years. Salary and compensation are the lowest in the area. As a single parent, I cannot afford getting full medical insurance for both my child and I. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Ma.
Cindy Perico.
Hi, good evening, everyone. I am Cindy Perico, and I am also here to speak on behalf of MPA members. Combination classes are an outdated, unnecessary way to run a district. They do nothing but save money. Who benefits? Definitely not the students. They get half their teachers. Please ban combination classes from existence. I feel disillusioned. We were told that the school closure would eliminate the need for combination classes and Valley Vista would be separate from Ida Ju. Now we are told the grade levels will be merged and combination classes are increasing. What is our district doing to keep teachers? There are many districts around us who offer better pay and benefits. We lose valuable teachers every year because of how low our pay and benefits are. I'm a great teacher. I can get hired at any neighboring district, get paid more with better benefits and more respect. What's the incentive for me to stay here? It would be a loss to the district to lose qualified teachers like myself. I cannot afford to continue working at Mount Pleasant anymore and still keep a roof over my kids' heads and their bellies full. The morale in the district is so low. Teachers feel underappreciated, disrespected, and unvalued. When will the district treat us like the professionals that we are? Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Perico.
Mary Correa.
Hi, I'm Mary Correa from Mount Pleasant, first grade, and I also am representing Mount Pleasant MPEA. See if my glasses don't get foggy. Our district is not showing that they are listening to what teachers need or what they ask for. We feel the pressure to have to overwork ourselves so that our students don't fall behind. More importantly, teachers know how much our students need to catch up and a need for remediation. So they know how much students are hurting from combo classes. Please listen to the teachers. Combo classes as they are currently done do not benefit students or teachers. There is no equity, as teachers and students are bumbling between two grade levels instead of delving into one. Our district has bigger class sizes than our surrounding districts. Our students get less intervention. We need to put student learning first and reduce class sizes and eliminate combos. It's not equitable between combo and straight classes in regards to behavior, academic level, special ed, RSP. Teachers who teach combo double their curriculum to cover not same across all schools. Classes are too large to meet all the students' needs. Kids in non-combo classes often are with other students who they should not be with. No, there's no way to separate the behavior issues. I would like to address class size issue. This has been brought up many times. I worked for 21 years in first grade, and I've had 20 students way back in 2001, up to 28 in most recent years. And this year I have only 23, which has been great. So I'm speaking with experience. I know the difference between having 20 and then 28. There's a huge difference in what happens in the classroom when you're able to give more quality time to teaching the students because of the smaller class size. You get more time for small groups, more time for differentiated instruction. Class management is without a doubt easier with the smaller class size. And students are able to get more one-on-one with the teacher. Students have a better academic, social, and emotional growth. And this is all because of small class size. So I implore you, please keep this class size small. Thank you.
Thank you.
That was our final speaker.
Thank you. All right. Thank you to all the speakers. This takes us to item 2, which is the recess to close session. We will do our best to get back by 6 o'clock, but we might be a little bit late. So I apologize in advance. Thank you. Okay, apologize for the time. Sorry that we took this long. All right, I would like to reconvene to open session. Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call this meeting to order. This is the May 11th, 2022 regular board meeting of the MPESD. This meeting is also being live streamed on YouTube. During this meeting, members of the public have an opportunity to directly address the governing board on any item of interest to the public. However, provisions of the Brown Act preclude any action being taken on any item not appearing on the posted agenda. However, the board may instruct the superintendent to follow up, which may or may not include placing an item on a future meeting agenda. The public may attend and speak in person by completing and submitting a request to speak. Public comment may also be done on Zoom online. And the time limit for public comment is 3 minutes per person and 20 minutes per topic. I want to emphasize that just because board members cannot engage in a dialogue with the public, it does not mean that we're not listening. We simply need to abide by the rules placed upon us. That takes us to item 3.1, report from closed session if needed. There is no report from closed session. That takes us to item 4, specifically item 4.1. Dr. MacArthur, do we need to move anything in the order?
No.
Thank you. That takes us to item 4.2, the 2022 summer school programs update. Dr. MacArthur, are you ready?
I believe so.
All right, thank you.
Good evening. Don't want to give my back, but I need to turn my back, so I apologize, but good evening to everyone. So just giving the board a quick update on our summer plans for 2022. And you can see I have the date wrong. It's May 11, not May 9th, but we can make the correction moving forward. Just giving you a quick summary overview of what we're doing. We're providing a 19-day summer program I have to say that I am very appreciative that we have so many teachers in the district that have that apply to teach summer school in servicing our students. We all know that need is great as we try to bring our students to grade level, especially the impact of the pandemic has had on our students. So I'm very appreciative to say that we have 13 teachers that will be teaching in our summer school reading and writing program to targeting our incoming first grade students to fourth grade students. We also have 13 teachers that will be working with our Elevate Math, and that's for our incoming third grade students through ninth grade. And this is because of our Math Compact program. We also have one teacher that will be teaching computer science through the Elevate Math, through the Elevate Silicon Valley Education Foundation. We have our summer school principal, we have our secretary, most of our staff have been hired. We're still looking for instructional aides to support our summer school teachers in the reading and writing program. I also want to let the board know that this year with the extended learning opportunity monies that the district received, we have increased our number of classrooms or students that we will be servicing this summer. For example, for our incoming third to ninth grade through the Math Elevate, based on the number of teachers, we're looking at inviting 325 students for the math program. For the computer science class, 25 students. For the reading and writing class, 216 students. We also have the extended year for our special education students. I don't know the number of classes right now and the number of students that will be served. In addition to that, we have our summer camp robotics program. Not all of the participating students are from our district. This is open to students outside the district. But right now we're estimating 200 students to participate in the program. So excluding the summer robotics program, we are anticipating that we're going to serve over 30% of our current student enrollment. And I want to also make a correction that the summer camp robotics is 6 years old to 14-year-olds, not 1 to 13-year-olds. So a correction there. I think this is all the information as an update that I would like to provide to the board. Is there any questions from the board?
So I have a question. I have a question just on the reading, writing, and the Elevate math. Those students are all, in a sense, I think they're identified students, correct? And they're
Correct.
invited.
Correct.
Okay. And then are we also offering those same students after school care as well? Are we still doing that?
So, yes, so our summer school application, our summer program will be from 8 to 12. Based on staff, we will offer our families, if they want to participate, extending the summer school day. So from 12 to 2:30, we will offer for students to participate sort of like in a summer camp enrichment opportunities for students. And it will be, again, by invitation based on the priority list for the ELOP funds, targeting the population of students and based on staff. But we are asking parents as we're collecting the invitation, if this is something that they desire or would like to participate.
Okay, so there was, just so to be clear, there is a cost or not a cost? to
No
that?
cost.
No cost, okay. Okay, and then the special ed program, so do we always have a summer special ed program?
Yes, there is always an extended year for some special education students.
Okay, again, so they're identified and invited.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions for board members? We can go to our next presentation, and I think that's what item, Ms. Serrano.
I think we need to find out first if anybody has public comment on this one before we move on to the next item.
Not.
Thank you. That would be item 4.3, the school consolidation transition update.
Thank you. We can go to the next slide. I wanted to give the board 75 special ed. That's what I was tuning on.
Okay, thank you.
I wanted to give the board an update on the school consolidation and next steps as we are moving forward. On February 16, 2022, the board voted to approve the recommendation that was brought forward to the board. And I want to go to just giving you a quick summary of what has taken place to get us ready for this transition. If we can go to the next slide. In the month of March, these are some of the activities that have taken place. I met with school site staff at Ida Ju, with staff from Ida Ju, as well as Valley Vista. We surveyed parents and staff to gather additional feedback. The feedback was used to create a question and answer document, two separate ones, one for staff and one from parents. It's ready for, I need to go back to those question and answer and make some revisions or some updates based on feedback that we continue to receive. We also met, I also met individually with Ida Ju, Valley Vista School Site PTA and School Site Council. And when I say I, that includes includes the site administrators from Ms. Cruz from Valley Vista and Ms. Tejada and respect Mr. Rodriguez. So when I met with the PTA from Valley Vista, Ms. Cruz was present. And when we met with School Site Council PTA from Ida Ju, Mr. Rodriguez and Ms. Tejada were present. For the month of April and in May, we conducted campus tours for families and caregivers. One was, or two were for Ida Ju families in the ALAS program that toured Mount Pleasant Elementary, and Valley Vista families that toured the Ida Ju Academy. The administrators also had joint staff meetings, one with the Ida Ju staff at Mount Pleasant with Mount Pleasant staff, and Valley Vista at Ida Ju Academy. Again, this was coordinated by the site administrators. We also had we formed the transition committee, one for each of the school site. We had just one meeting so far with the transition committee. Feedback was provided, and this is where I said I need to update the question and answer documents with questions, concerns, things that were brought up at the consolidation committee with each of the the one from transition in the ALAS program to Mount Pleasant and from Valley Vista to Ida Ju. Suggestions and recommendations were given to continue to provide updates to our staff and our families as we move forward with the consolidation, things that are happening, providing visuals. Some feedback was to create short visual videos to communicate of changes that are taking place, whether it be at the campus or not just in writing, but to provide other ways of communicating with our staff. There's also a plan to do a walking field trip with the students and staff. Originally, we had a schedule for June. That feedback from the consolidation committees was to do that sooner. And I know the administrators are looking at that to see if that's a possibility. There's so many events and with testing at the end of the year, but I know that the administrators are looking to see if that's a possibility. There was also a suggestion or recommendation from the consolidation committee to find ways or opportunities for families to work, to come together. For example, the ALAS, Ida Ju families to come up with some event that they can do with the families and students at the Mount Pleasant campus. Someone suggested like a beautification day, but coming up with some activities so that they can come together. We continue to do many facilities updates. There's also, for example, some of the things that are not listed here but are taking place is that one of the concerns for the Valley Vista families transitioning to Valley Vista was to Ida Ju was transportation. Just the traffic on Flint, the congestions in the morning. So one of the things that Mr. Hutchins is doing, he has already contacted the city of San Jose, and we're working at having a designated drop-off zone on Galuso Drive. And from what update that Mr. Hutchins has provided, that looks very promising as the city working with us to provide a drop-off zone. We're also working on, as we are looking to implement that universal pre-kindergarten program and looking at our preschool TK kindergarten needs. We're also working to make sure that we have the facilities with the new requirements. And so we're consistently meeting with our architects, facilities, almost on a bi-weekly basis to work on the updates and making sure that we are ready for August to receive our families and our students. Next slide.
Wait, I'm sorry. I just want to make sure I was understood your last statement. You're working right now on the facilities at Valley Vista, or you're working on the facilities at Ida Ju to welcome the Valley Vista families?
So I'm working at the facilities at Ida Ju to welcome the Valley Vista,
Okay.
but as well as Mount Pleasant.
Uh-huh.
And this is not just the consolidation, but also the universal pre-kindergarten, the universal TK.
Which will be at Valley Vista,
It will be across the district,
across the, okay.
across the district.
Okay.
Yes.
May I still, I'm sorry, can I still ask some questions about the slide
Sure.
before we move on to the other one? Okay, so I just want to make certain, I appreciate the efforts to ensure that all incoming families with the changes are made comfortable. And I think that's a really big, although it may be more work for your staff, I think it's extremely important that we continue to offer opportunities for people who are leaving their one site to going to the next site. I think that's extremely important. So I like all of the feedback that you're getting about the walking tours, your family days, your communal events. So I think that's really important. And I'd like to make sure that that happens at both sites, Ida Ju as well. Another comment I have on here is during the month of April and May, because I do agree, I think June is too late to be able to welcome families into the new sites. Is there some sort of timeline, or what's the communication on the Valley Vista staff as to how they're moving and their transition?
So there's one question, there's a question and answer document that was created to answer the questions about that transition. So I will review that document again to see if there's questions that have not been answered and resharing. So that document was shared with the Valley Vista staff as well as the Ida Ju staff. But again, that is a working document that we continuously need to go back as we hear concerns from teachers or feedback is provided, or there's questions that haven't been asked before, but now are being asked.
Right.
The same thing with the parent question and answer. That's a document that we need to update it and reshare. So this will be ongoing with, again, the Consolidation Committee. We had one meeting with Alice, Ida Ju to Mount Pleasant, and one meeting with the Valley Vista Transition Committee.
Is the parent document available on the website?
No, that was emailed to the families, but we can definitely post
I
it on the
think
website.
The parent one should be on the website, so anybody can just look at it at any time. Obviously, the staff one should probably not be public, but also just to alleviate and also for expediency and not to put so much work on you. Are you the only one answering those?
No, so we work as a team with the administrators because I don't get all the questions.
Right.
We initially did send out a Google form to gather feedback and questions, but the administrators are hearing questions as we go. So for example, teachers recently received their room assignments. There may be questions from that. As they receive boxes, they may find out, oh, these are not enough boxes. We need more, whatever it may come. So the way to keep the purpose of the question and answer is one that we're not answering individually, but that we're providing a public, more of a, for everyone. And also a place to go back to if they need to find an answer that is not there. It's in the works. We will continue to refine our transition as we move forward. I am sure new questions and concerns will continue to be brought up.
Right. I appreciate that it's a living document and that things could potentially change. I just want to make sure that it's visible to all and that it doesn't necessarily have to be beholden on you, literally to have to answer everything. It would be difficult for you. Okay, thank you.
I just want to give the board just a quick, I am so sorry. I don't know that I know the number of families that have done the tours. I think that there was a sign-in sheet when the parents were coming in, but I cannot tell you how many. I know Mount Pleasant, when I was there, one of the 2 days, Miss Chung did 2 or 3 different tours, like a group of parents got there and we did the tour. We came back and she took another group of parents, but I cannot tell you how many. Feedback has been different, questions or feedback that we have received at Mount Pleasant from what we have received at Ida Ju. Obviously, questions are different. So some of the questions that we have received from our families, one of them has been about the traffic. For example, at Mount Pleasant, what is going to be the traffic flow? The safety about the fencing, where are the students coming in, where do they play, those kinds of things. When we did the, and I'm speaking for Mount Pleasant, when we did the school consolidation meeting at Mount Pleasant and the parents saw that work had been done from their initial visit, that was one of the suggestions, recommendations about providing updates on what has been done. So for example, at that time, when they first did the tour, the fences were not on, but now they're on. So sending a quick video that says, look what has been done. With Valley Vista, the concerns was about where their classrooms were going to be, how they were going to be separated, or if they were going to be separated from the existing Ida Ju classrooms area. The safety concerns about, the elementary and the middle school. Some other questions and concerns was about storage, looking at what they currently have, what they will have, and looking what can they bring. So if they have certain storage at their school side, can they bring that, if they need it? So one of the things that I have updated, but I don't know that all teachers have seen it, is that once they receive their room assignment, they can coordinate with their site administrator and Ida Ju and come and visit their classroom. And then work with their administrators looking at what they would like to bring after they see it and they see, looking at that. So those, in general, those are the kinds of questions, concerns that we have heard. We'll go to the next slide.
Thank you.
Just a quick update on the 7-Eleven Advisory Committee. We form an advisory committee in accordance with the education code. In just going to the next slide. We have met, our first meeting was on March 14. We also met on March 28. April 28, this past Monday, May 9, we also held a public hearing for our community to sort of give them an update of where we were and also the recommendations or things that the committee was planning to bring forward to the board. Our next meeting is May 28. May 28, they will be reviewing the report that the committee is planning to bring to the board at the June 8th board meeting. So we're pretty much there. Next slide.
May 23rd is what it says, right? May 23rd, not May 28th.
So May 23rd is the next meeting and June 8th will be the presentation to the board.
Okay.
Any questions, any additional questions from the ones that I
Board members, do you have any more questions?
No questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for the update.
Alice, do we have any public comment?
We do, from Gabriela Roman.
Good evening. I'm here on behalf of our ALAS teachers. For the sake of transparency, The ALAS teachers at Ida Ju Academy wanted to share some of the ways the ALAS Dual Immersion program has suffered as a result of the school board's decision to move it to the Mount Pleasant Elementary School campus. About half of our students who are currently enrolled in ALAS program are moving to the STEAM program so that they can stay at the current Ida Ju campus. The ALAS program had a larger number enrollment than the STEAM program at Ida Ju. There are roughly 111 students exiting the program for a variety of reasons. In speaking with parents, the reasons for leaving include some of the following. The location of the Ida Ju campus is more convenient to them or their caretakers. Some have siblings that would stay in the middle school and they want to keep their students on the same campus. Due to this change, we will be going from 9 ALAS classrooms to only 4. 3 out of those 4 classrooms will be combination classes, which will be more combo classes than we have had in the past. It also affects how much instructional time and individualized support students receive. This will also create less bilingual placements for teachers, which will impact their salaries that they cannot afford to lose with the high cost of living in the area. ALAS teachers have discussed ways to advertise and promote the program. Over the previous years, we have come up with ideas like placing flyers at coffee shops and stores around the area, creating videos, making signs and placing them where they are visible for the community. These ideas have just stayed tucked away on a file and nothing has been done. ALAS teachers love the program and we want it to grow, but we need support from upper management in advertising it. We have had meetings with our principal and student advisor, creating a plan to convince parents to keep their children in ALAS program instead. Teachers have met with families. Some have given their testimonies of why students should continue in the dual immersion program, and teachers have welcomed parents into their classrooms to see their students work. We have been working hard to try to keep our students in our program. What is it going to take to have the district advertise the program to grow instead of affecting students, families, and teachers? We are saddened to see what feels like a demise of our once thriving program and can't help but question why the school board will approve this type of move in the first place. Thank you.
Thank you.
No other speakers.
Okay, thank you. That takes us to item 4.4, MPEA report, Ms. Parico and Ms. Roman.
Good evening, everyone. MPA would like to express their desire for honest, transparent, and fair negotiations as we work with management on our collective bargaining agreement. As you have already heard this evening, there are concerns regarding the high number of combination classes for next year, the low salaries and benefits that our members get, and the negative climate of the district. Our students deserve to have access to an equitable learning environment, and combination classes as well as large class sizes will not provide that. Our teachers deserve to be treated like professionals. If the Mount Pleasant Elementary School District wants to attract and retain high-quality teachers, they need to be valued, treated with respect, and be paid their worth. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Parico. That takes us to item 5, which is suggestions and comments from the audience. This portion of the agenda provides an opportunity for members of the public to directly address the governing board on any item of interest to the public. However, provisions of the Brown Act preclude any action being taken on any item not appearing on the posted agenda. Time limits allocated to public comment are 3 minutes per person and 20 minutes per topic. In order to do the speaking in person, you should have been able to pick up a card to fill out. And then public may also speak through the Zoom. And I want to emphasize that just because board members cannot engage in a dialogue with the public does not mean that we're not listening. We simply need to abide by the rules. Alice, who's our first speaker?
Tiffany Collins.
Should I start?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes, you
awesome.
can. Thank you.
Hello, all. My name is Tiffany Collins, and I have a son that is enrolled in August Boger, at August Boger in the Mount Pleasant School District. My son was recently diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder. Pre-diagnosis, my son had a reputation at school for his odd behavior and triggers, especially in MPESD. Yet in the environment where it happened the most, they did the bare minimum to prevent situations in which my son was being set up in some form or fashion to get in trouble. Also, since being in middle school, the system has applied pressure to my son, for my son to conform in order to make everyone else comfortable. The type of pressure that sends kids down the pipeline to prison or death. Not only have my son and I been severely affected by this, but I personally feel insulted, especially since I did my part. I informed the schools and after school staff that we were working with therapists and different programs to figure out what was going on. MPESD called me to pick up my son so much during this school year that I ended up losing my job because I couldn't work the hours they needed me to. MPESD also sent me home to discipline my son when they neglected to do their due diligence to find out if other students were provoking my son to act out of character. It has taken me more than 3 years to get my son in front of a doctor. One fact I have learned since learning about my son's disorder is that African-American kids are diagnosed much later than other kids with autism. Therefore, our kids usually have to endure the worst parts of trying to live and learn in a society that constantly compares themselves to others and relies on stereotypes to boost their egos to make them believe they are better than the person looking at them. Children with ASD often do not respond to rewards and punishment methods, which means the behavior will continue until we figure out how to teach the skill or skills in a way that the child understands. Often it seems like parents of these kids allow them to get away with their behavior, or their parents implement punishments that seem extreme to an individual on the outside of the situation. This is due to the fact that they too are often unaware of their child's cognitive disorder. In February this year, I had a mental breakdown from all the stress I was under. During this time, my son was staying at a shelter and being connected with the resources and therapies that I believe would be the key to figuring out how my son thinks and improve our relationship at home. I knew he was a great kid, but was unable to communicate. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Finish.
I'm sorry. I'll wrap it up. So after completing IOP, I was notified that a kid was expelled for using racial slurs towards my son and possibly others. I was not informed of the first incident. And since being a student at Mount Pleasant, my son has been the target in which kids, staff, and their after-school program affiliates have directed their negative energy. These are just kids, so they are learning this from multiple places. However, what reinforces this mindset is what and how these issues are spoken about in kids' homes. The number one thing that is not being made blatantly clear to children of color at home is that they are minorities as well. Everyone has a struggle that they have to overcome, and that does not only relate to outward or materialistic accomplishments. Parents should be responsible for racism. A child is like a plant. If you water it with poison, then the fruit will always be poisonous. This has to be stopped at the root to eradicate it. I want to acknowledge that people may not outright be teaching their kids racism. However, there is some type of negative synergy that is coming out in actions or speech towards others that kids hear, even when they think that they are not listening or preoccupied. Over the last 2 years, the racial climate in America has been the same as it's always been, just highlighted due to COVID and smartphones. The community that Mount Pleasant School District serves have creatively expressed themselves on multiple occasions on how they feel about Black people. The type of actions that are meant to run Black people away and establish social boundaries. Negative opinions did not just stay on social media due to the actions people of color felt they had to take to get attention about a cause that personally affects us. The superintendent informed my son's advocates that my son called a kid Hawaiian Punch. That is the best he could come up with because he was not nurtured in a diverse area. And I've never taught him to use racial slurs to defend himself. Bentley has been an impasse since he moved to California in 2018. The thing people never acknowledge or say is that trauma usually involves the people closest to us. Yet some of these experiences are deemed growing pains or unforeseen events that lead us to people that are meant to be in our lives forever or appreciate the people who are in our lives. The effects of trauma at a young age most of the time does not become apparent until adulthood, if ever. A trauma of this magnitude should not be happening at any school or at all. There is no reason an educated or a trained adult should not be able to communicate their personal limitations or bias. Anyone working with kids should be able to ask questions to get to the root of a problem. And if they are really good, they learn who people are, including children, in order to gain discernment on how to engage with students to get them to open up, and especially to get the truth. We live in a time where man-made laws dictate people's moral compass, and everything on the news helps people with this type of mindset to think that they are protected. I'm not going to overlook the fact we are continuously patching broken systems. However, I will not allow my son and I to fall victims to it. One of my favorite quotes is, "He who fights with monsters might take care, lest he thereby become a monster." The law does not dictate my morale or decisions I make, but I will use it as a tool to take a direct stance against this type of hurtful expression of hate and bullying. I'm gonna skip that. Due to the events that have happened to my son, he will not be returning to school until his accommodations are properly met. There needs to be a real plan. I thank you for your time.
Thank you. Who's our next speaker?
Maribel Carrillo.
Should be able to grab the microphone.
Yeah.
Just pops out.
Good evening, Board President and trustees. This week is Teachers Week, and I wanted to thank all the teachers for being superheroes to all the students. Especially, I wanted to thank Ms. Rao, Ms. Darrow, Ms. Martinez, and Ms. Kathy and Ms. Greta for supporting my son during this 21-22 school year. It was a hard year to come back from a distance learning and having to readjust. I'm sad to hear that Ms. Thyro's is not returning next year. She will be missed. She's a great RSP teacher, in my opinion. It is my understanding that I'm hearing that there's going to be combo classes next school year. And I don't feel this is a good idea because this will impact students, teachers. I think this is not good for people who have for students who have IEPs. They're already struggling enough with the learning loss. 4th and 5th grade, how are the teachers supposed to do their curriculum? Well, they're prepping, I should say, for the day. How do they separate it? I'm not an educator, but I'm thinking about my son and other students too that are going to be impacted. As is where Valley Vista is closing, it's already hard to relocate to a different school and readjust. There's been so many changes with COVID. I know that for one, my family has been impacted with it. And my son had learning loss because he wasn't able to attend school. So I hope you as a board hear me out as a parent, only for me, but other parents that aren't able to come to the school board meetings because of either they're working or they don't even know how to speak up. And I also wanted to thank, I don't want to leave that, Ms. Cruz for being a principal at Valley Vista all these years. And having, she's called me, we've talked about things about concerning my son. And all the staff there, they all have their families and all that. And I get these notices that, oh, there's somebody in the class that got COVID. It's pretty scary times we're living in. I heard that the COVID is going to go up. And I hate to be a broken record and talk about it, but it does impact families, especially in our zip code. It does impact. And the numbers are going higher. Just combining classes just doesn't make sense to have 30 or 40 students. And that's the reason why Valley Vista was closed, right? Because everything was open, wide. That was a whole complaint. So now we're putting a bunch of students in a bunch of class in a class just to make sense to me. So I hope that's all my comment for tonight. Thank you.
Thank you.
We have no other speakers.
Thank you. That takes us to item 6, specifically 6.1, personnel. Do we have any public comment on this item? Thank you. As we don't have any public comment, do I have a motion to approve personnel item 6.1 to 6.12, excluding 6.4? Thank you. May I have a second? Thank you. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Takes us to item 7.1. This is an item to continue for the next 30 days, the school district's ability to meet electronically. Do any board members have questions?
No.
Do we have any public comment?
We do not.
Thank you. Let's see. So do I have a motion to approve item 7.1?
A motion we approve item
Thank you.
7.1.
Do I have a second? Thank you. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Takes us to item 7.2, resolution 21-2230, missed board meeting by Mr. Ramirez. Board members, any questions?
No.
Alice, any public comment?
No.
So do I have a motion to approve resolution 21-2230?
Motion to approve resolution 21-2230.
Do I have a second?
Second.
This is a roll call vote, if I'm not mistaken? Yes.
Yes.
Aye.
Abstain. All right, so we do have quorum. Thank you. Motion carries. Takes us to item 8, which is the consent action items. Does anyone need to move any of these items from the consent agenda? And Alice, do we have any speakers on any of these?
We do not.
Thank you. Board members, any of these items need to be moved?
Yeah. Actually, I'd like to move 8.4, which is the painting project.
Thank you. Any other items? All right, so I would like to make a motion to approve agenda items 8.1 through 8.10, excluding 8.4. May I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. That takes us to item 8.4. Ms. Scott Lopez.
I am just interested in what the painting project is. So if maybe we could just talk about what that is.
Well, we always like to hear
We like to
from
hear
Mr.
about what's,
Kevin.
we like to hear about our facilities.
I think he's psychic. He knows.
Yeah, so the Mount Pleasant painting project is basically, we're gonna go, local, bid for it. We got several contractors show up for the bidding process. Which was great. So-
Oh, it's not on.
Just turn it on.
Push and hold. There you go.
How's that? Better? Okay. Yeah, so it's gonna be completely going into that whole site and scraping it down to to bare wood, painting, priming it, 2 coats of new fresh paint on everything. That school was in pretty rough shape. So yeah, that's there's the school was built in, I think, around 1955. So I told all the contractors to assume that there is lead paint. So there'll be some abatement that'll have to be done. And this will take place pretty much the whole summer at Mount Pleasant. So
So what about all the beautiful murals and all the paintings throughout? the
those are not getting painted over. We're keeping the murals. Yeah,
Okay,
those won't get painted over.
It's all that flaking off stuff that never stuck.
okay.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Okay, so-
most of the damage is around like the eaves and things like that. The walls are decent, but they're gonna get fresh paint as well.
Okay,
Except the murals. So they'll paint to the murals. Yeah,
okay, so the murals will continue to stay there. Okay,
correct.
okay, that's good.
Yeah, I've actually already gone through. There is an allowance to cover any more damaged, any dry rot or anything, or water damage. But I've already gone through and had some repairs done on some separate POs. So there was a lot of damaged eaves, so they had to pull the roof back, replace the decking, and then patch all that back up. And then kind of in the back of the school, there was kind of an odd building that was attached to the cafeteria. I think it was built just to kind of house some plumbing pipes. So I had those, I had that removed just to clean it up, and I'm having some doors replaced back there behind the cafeteria and some other, some building areas that just were in really bad shape. So I figured right now it'd be a good time to get all that ready. So then when the painters come in, they can paint it all up.
Okay.
Yeah,
I see that the fencing project is well underway. Is
yes.
there some other things going on this summer out of curiosity?
Yeah, there
Well,
is.
I'd actually like to maybe we could talk
Ooh,
about a
yes,
lot of that
maybe
at our
we can
next
have him
meeting.
Come back and report.
Yeah,
Thank
because
you.
I'd really like
Yes.
to hear
Okay,
what's
sure.
going on in the district.
That
Yeah.
would be great if
Yeah.
you can give us an idea of what's going on this summer, because we're really excited when we see things when we come back.
Right.
Okay,
So,
all right.
And I do want to say as well, thank you, and I think it's a great thing that we're doing the separate drop off behind Ida Ju on Galuzzo. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm interested to hear how that's going to progress, but I think that has a lot of promise and a lot of potential. So
Yes,
I'm very excited about that.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
Thank
thank you.
thank you.
So would you like to make the motion for item 8.4?
Yes, so I make a motion to approve item 8.4.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor say aye.
I
Anyone opposed? The motion carries. That takes us to item 9, information items not requiring action. Does anybody have any questions about these items? I know that they're not for approval.
either item.
Yes, either item.
Yeah, so I recognize that the first item, 9.1, is based on recommendations that we made last month, correct? Okay. And then secondly, 9.2, the second interim positive certification letter. If I could just I read that letter. I went through that letter and I thought there was a lot of really good information there that talks about how the district is still, in a sense, our financial situation, but the moves that we are taking to, in a sense, address those, but with a cautionary approach. So maybe, I'm sorry, is there something you can maybe clarify a little bit on that, Dr. MacArthur?
Sure. I think that this letter from Santa Clara County Office of Education affirms that we have provided that we are fiscally solvent for the years 2021-22, which is the current year, 22-23, as well as 23-24. However, they are still concerned about the fiscal stability of the district. They indicate that the balance that we're using one-time general fund unrestricted reserves for ongoing expenditures. Also the concern of our declining enrollment, and that those one-time funds that we are using to basically balance and be fiscally solvent for 3 years is in decline. So our $2 million that we have in reserves under Fund 17 will be decreasing to 1.2 million at the closing of 23-24. They further indicate our continuous decline in enrollment since 2009, that we have lost over 1,000 students. And also that our independent charter this year alone, they lost 150 students from prior year. And like we all know, loss in enrollment equals to loss in revenues. They also appreciate the actions that the district has taken to be able to stay fiscally solvent, such as submitting a plan for reducing $1 million. And part of that is the consolidation of our schools. And that we applied, that we our plan to renew our parcel tax that will be in the election ballot in June. And so hopefully if the voters approve, this will be an additional revenue that will help our district for 7 years. So that will be very helpful. However, they also reminds us that the one-time funding that we have received to mitigate the COVID impacts are also one-time monies, and that they have different expiration dates, and that we need to, one, be vigilant of those expiration dates, and that we do not incur costs that will be ongoing with this one-time monies. In addition to that, they also remind us of the cap for research, and they remind the board that we take the actions necessary not to exceed the reserve cap. So in general, this is a summary of the second interim report affirming that we have a positive certification, but to continue to move with caution.
Thank you. Thank you for the explanation, Dr. MacArthur.
Thank you. Any other questions, board members, on any of these items? Okay, that takes us to item 10, future agenda items. Any dates to be assigned to any of these at this moment? Okay. Board members, do you have any items? I know that Mr. Grassi had requested something for, what's it, Women's Month? Or?
Yes, March Women's History Month, a report on what went on there, as well as Cesar Chavez in terms of keeping in line with our diversity, equity, inclusion.
I think maybe we can do a report at the end at our last meeting with all the activities from the last report to now.
Sounds good. Sounds
Yeah.
good. Very good. Thank you.
I would, as a board member, love to have a update at the beginning of next year about what our DEIB committee priorities will be and sort of what their plan is for the year in terms of what the curriculum would be, just a general idea of what their plan is for next year.
Could I suggest for the report that Mr. Grusty requested that we do it at the end of the year just to give a quick summary of what has taken place since our last update to the
Yes,
board?
absolutely, absolutely. Also the
Yes,
report
thank
on facilities, if we can have that, is that?
Yeah, the facilities for the plan for the summer.
Mhm.
And then I don't know if you had it as an ongoing item, but again, just an update on the transition and the moves.
Yeah. And also we need to discuss the board member office hours.
Yeah, so Dr. MacArthur and I actually have met on that,
Mhm.
and I will be bringing that back to the board about the board office hours, because that is something that I want to, I believe would be a benefit.
May I make a recommendation that the facilities update, that we do it when the bond advisory committee will do the board report, because a lot of that will be included there. So we can point out what will be done during the summer in that report.
That's great.
Is that CBOC report going to be done in June then? Is that at the June meeting?
I believe so.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
usually the last. meeting.
Okay.
I think that's it.
Well, I don't know again if this is a future agenda item or if this is a board study item, but it's the special ed. Special ed.
That's,
Are we going to do a board study on that?
we're gonna do a board study session in June. I sent the board a Google Doc to identify a date.
Okay,
If you can please complete it, and that will be included on the board study session.
okay, thank you.
Anything else, board members? I think that's it.
Well, I don't know if it's this, but with the Volair about the marketing, I have heard discussions about our marketing of the district. So that's just, I think we've all recognized, right, the need to market our district. And I know you understand that as well, but I do believe there's been some action on it. So I don't know if that's something that we want to discuss or not, or could be brought up as an update, or if it needs to be. I don't know.
I can give you an update on the weekly update, and then the board has additional questions, we can bring it for discussion.
Okay, that's great. Thank you.
I think I would like to see a once a year Volair report whenever it is appropriate, so that we know what they're doing for the district, so that it's very transparent to everyone what they're getting paid for. All right, any other items? Okay, that takes us to item 11, Board of Trustees Superintendent Communications Comments. Dr. MacArthur, you're up first.
No, I just, again, very appreciative and say to the teachers and classified employees that we are celebrating in the month of June. This week is the teacher appreciation, and they received their birth almond cupcakes. And we are planning to do something different for us to honor our classified employees next Wednesday. So thank you to all of the teachers and classified employees for everything that they do to be able to keep us safe and provide a learning environment for our students the best that we can do.
Thank you. Any other board members?
Starting with Bob.
Bob, out there,
Way over there.
any comments?
The appreciation for all the staff, all the teachers. Overlooked a lot.
Yes, I also like to thank our teachers and our classified staff. They are the ones that keep things moving, care for our kids, and appreciate all their hard work that they do each and every day for our kids and for our community. Also, I'm on the San Jose COVID-19 Recovery Task Force. We're wrapping things up. We have another meeting tomorrow at 7 p.m. It's virtual, but people can get on. Just go onto the city website, and we're looking at ways in which we can look at how we can survive a pandemic, how we can do things better next time, and how we can do things better right now in terms of making things better for our community. So thank you.
Is that Lopez?
Again, just want to echo our appreciation for our staff and our teachers. Again, our district would not be here without you. Again, thank you for all your hard work.
I don't really have any comments tonight, other than to say that the consolidation and transition that we're going through is very difficult. We are in a difficult position to begin with. So it's not going to be perfect. It's not going to be ideal for everyone. But we will try our best to listen to your concerns and to address them. So we appreciate everyone that comes to our meetings with their concerns. We appreciate the parents that come in with their concerns. That's what these meetings are for, is your opportunity to address us and tell us what's going on and what can we help with. So thank you. Especially those that are on Zoom that we don't get to hear from. Thank you for being there. All right, that takes us to item 12, closed session when required for non-routine items. We do not have any items to return to closed session for. That takes us to item 13.1, meeting adjournment. Do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
One thing that I do want to say, I don't know if I said it. I don't know if I said it at the last meeting, but I just want to make sure that to acknowledge that Miss Trudy Martinez, our family case manager, was recognized as classified employee of the year with Santa Clara County Office of Education, and that her name has been submitted to the state. And here where her name goes, but just want to again recognize that Ms. Trudy Martinez, our family case manager, has been recognized as classified employee of the year for our
Wonderful.
district.
Wonderful news. Thank
Yes,
you.
wonderful.
As a matter of fact, now that you bring that up, one of the things that Eastside Union does is they have a recognition at every board meeting. And I think it would not be a bad idea for us to do that on a regular basis, not just the big kudos, but the little kudos. And they focus on different aspects of what's going on in the school. So that's something that I would like to discuss with the rest of the board and see if it's something that you also think would be valuable. All right, so do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
A motion to adjourn.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? The motion carries. Item 14.1, our next regular board meeting will be held on Wednesday, May 25th, 2022, right here at August Boger at 5 p.m. Thank you very much. I know it was a long meeting. Thank you for sticking with us.
Thank you.